Welcome to the Orlando Lions Den podcast, your number one Orlando City podcast. For the fans, by the fans. For the fans, by the fans. Keeping you in the know on all things Orlando City since 2018.
Hello, another edition of Orlando Lions Den podcast. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's me, Alex Brown. I'm hosting tonight another somber episode. What were we talking about, pumping the brakes? Yeah, that's why I said, that's why most of us have been stopped at the stoplight. We fell asleep at the stoplight. The brakes were fully pushed. But 4-2 loss against NYC. We're going to get into it tonight. We got Cleon back on.
I'm back on.
To discuss the matters. What's up, my man? How you been?
Hey. Could be worse, right? I mean, barely. Barely, but it could be worse, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, we're bottom of the table, basically. So,
well, I'm saying until we rock bottom, I guess it could be worse.
Oh gosh. At least then we wouldn't have any sliver of hope. But
waiting for him to jail. I'm waiting for him to jail. That's all, bro.
Listen, oh God, why does your thing stay still faster than Vita Vera? Are we gonna get the 40 this year?
Hey, bro,
we only got a few more months, bro.
I don't think it's gonna happen, bro.
Because we were all right.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Look at Mike.
I honestly don't think it's gonna happen, bro. I keep getting injured. I keep getting injured. Not even training for it, and I keep getting injured.
I gave you a year,
bro. I hurt my knee.
Even that is.
I hurt my knee, bro. I legit hurt my knee trying to put up the dang menu boards in Bermuda. Literally just standing up, trying to step up into a freaking chair to put up a menu board, and my knee was like.
You need to stop adding things to the menu.
I don't know. We're gonna see. I'm gonna try to run it, but I don't think it's gonna happen now.
So maybe still faster than Vita Vea in 2024.
Maybe in 25.
All right. We're gonna prolong it a year.
Hey,
Mike, what's up, brother?
I mean, here's the positive: is if we can go ahead and get him to run that in the stadium.
I'll run it, bro. I'll run it. Even if I'm injured, I'll run it. But
here's my thing: is I'm saying if we get you to run it in the stadium, and even if you're not successful, there's a chance that it's not going to be the worst thing we saw in the stadium all year. So,
oh no, for sure.
Seeing some of these performances, man.
I think
that
for extra motivation, I need at least like 3 of the other podcast members to run this 40 with me.
I'll gladly run it.
I'm better with a. I'm talking about at the same time. I'm talking about same time. I could be the only one to get time, but I'm better with a chaser.
Yeah, I have no doubt you'll beat me, but I'll definitely be chasing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the health kick right now. I'm down 15 pounds currently, but like, I ain't you're gonna beat my butt. That's for dang sure.
Yeah, get a race between Mike and I, but you'll be out in front.
As long as JJ's in it, I'm good.
JJ,
bro, I told you, like I'll be JJ running backwards, bro.
That's not really a chaser, but that's for another day. All right, let's get into our sponsors. We'll talk about Eddie first. Eddie the commish, our man, who is not with us tonight. He's got a bunch of stuff going on with the fam. Out here doing a bunch of cool plays and stuff, and he's got a lot of stuff going on in the summer. But of course, if you need insurance, hit up Eddie with his Comparion Insurance Company. They're a Liberty Mutual company. He can shop around multiple different agencies for you. Make sure you're getting the best price on your home insurance. Make sure you're getting the best coverage too, so you don't have any surprises when you actually do need to use your insurance. Auto, home, life insurance, pet insurance, renter's insurance, whatever it is, call up Eddie and he can help you out. Shoot a message to the pod account, shoot a message to him, and he'll be more than happy to help you out. So give Eddie a call. He can take care of you there. We got Leo at the Epic Mortgage team, powered by You Mortgage. Our man, Leo Gonzalez, Wright Mortgages. He's a mortgage broker. which is obviously different than a real estate agent. He's the one behind the scenes, getting you the loan, getting you approved, making sure that that everything's good with your rate and things like that. I know rates are fluctuating; they're high right now than what they were in the past on the overall. But if you just need advice, if you're looking for questions about purchasing a home, if now's a good time. Leo will be more honest with you than anybody that you can talk to. One of my very, very good friends, one of my best friends, and he can always steer you right in the mortgage industry. www.applywithleo.com, 407-844-7696. Shoot him a text, give him a call. Leo with the Epic Mortgage team. Speaking of buying a house, we got our man Chad, Mr. McGibbon. He's got a QR code on the screen. You can hit him up on Twitter as well. Chad is a real estate agent. He does the other side of purchasing a home. He will represent you in buying or selling your house at Cabana Suite on Twitter. And he is a very good friend of ours, a listener from Orlando Lions Den for a while, and a huge Orlando City supporter. So if you are buying a house, hit up Leo to write your mortgage, hit up Chad to represent you, and you won't be disappointed. I can assure you with that. Last one is Fubo TV. Our second last one, Fubo TV. If you are looking to get some added sports and more coverage, they offer free memberships. They have great channels. Use our QR code. It would go a long way to helping us out. So if you're signed up for Fubo, make sure you use that QR code. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And then the last one is our friends over at Hourglass Brewing. Still have the No Mango, No Party beer in stock. Hopefully the season goes a little bit better. We might have a meaningful game. We can throw that clear the beer party that we were talking about. But they still do have it in stock at both locations, up in Longwood and on Curry Forward near the Executive Airport. So give Hourglass a shout. Head on over there if you're looking to get some good mango wheat beer, any good beer. They got a bunch of different selections, and we really appreciate them for hosting that watch party that we had a few weeks back. I guess now almost a month now. So thank you guys over at Hourglass. All right, before we start the episode, just want to, Mike, you're raising your finger at me?
Yeah, I want to go ahead and just, I was trying to jump in when you mentioned Chad earlier. I think he's got a different Twitter handle, so we need to check on that. But he also jumped into the Den After Dark for the first time. And had some good conversation this week. So shout out to him for that and for getting in on the convo. Just wanted to say that was tight and nice. So
okay, yeah, it's just at Chad McGibbon. Yeah, that's it. Easy enough. First last name, Chad McGibbon. All right, let's
Cleon, fix your camera, man.
What we got down there? All right, while Cleon's doing that, just want to shout out to Mason Stajduhar. Prayers up for Mason. First thing we want to talk about getting into this episode, obviously suffered a season-ending injury. It was bad when it happened. It looked horrible. Broken tib, broken fibula, just on a offside play that maybe, on the mini pitch that they have up there, combined with the referee being told to keep his flag down, things like that happened, and it didn't really work out too well for either one of the players. So both had tibula and fibula fractures. Mason's was pretty tough to watch, honestly. The guy was having a good couple games in too. Was a lot of people were calling for him to be the starter, and that happened. So kind of sums up where we're at this season. But it's we're praying for him. We're making sure that obviously as Orlando City fan base as a whole, we're with him 100% in his recovery. The guy kicked cancer's ass. He'll definitely take care of this as well. So I expect him to be back next year, and who knows where Pedro will be. So Mason definitely showed out his capabilities the last game or two. And you guys have anything to add on that?
Just man, just sucked to watch. I was honestly surprised that they ended up showing a highlight of it, let alone two, for the extended period that he was down. They showed like the first highlight, and I feel like you didn't really see much of it. But then the second highlight, you just kind of saw how bad of an injury it was. And then they realized, oh, crap, we probably should not show that ever again. So I feel bad for both players. I think it was Malachi Flynn was his name on NYCFC too. Suffered a similar injury, but obviously I believe Mason's was a compound fracture, which is a little bit worse. But awful for both, kind of just a freak incident realistically, but like like you said, he kicked cancer's ass. I think he can handle this too. And we're hoping he's going to be back soon next year. We're looking forward to it because he's definitely showed some bright spots in the time he's gotten this year.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Speaking of the game, we got to talk about it. Unfortunately, we went up to Yankee Stadium. I don't know, man. It's just getting repetitive at this point, right? It's like, man, we start talk about it's like a roller coaster has ups and downs, but I feel like we're just on the tower of terror, but we haven't stopped falling. It's been bad. We talked about it last week against Chicago. Or I guess 2 weeks ago now because we had a little break, but it wasn't awesome. It wasn't great. The performance against Chicago wasn't awesome. We had some bangers of a goal. We had a penalty kick, and we beat the worst team in the league. Hoorah! But a lot of people were feeling a little bit optimistic, but we talked about it, and there wasn't much optimism for us. It was what we did, what we were supposed to do, and then we go up to New York, and I know it was 4-2, but in reality, I mean, we're down 3-0 at halftime. Give up 2 goals in stoppage time. The first goal was just horrible from Nico Ladero. Guy's been terrible. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's had 1 or 2 matches this year that he's really stood out, but other than that, it's not what we were looking for when we said we needed to sign a world-class number 10 in the offseason. The whole MLS fan base and the pundits and everything, Orlando City, even other teams could realize all we needed was a solid star number 10, and we got Nico Ladero, and it has been hard to watch him. He gives up the bad turnover on the first goal. They immediately make us make it hurt 1-0, and then the second goal in stoppage time in the first half, Angulo tries to run the ball out at the goal line. Just does a really crappy job, horrible job. Guy gets the ball, and they cross it, put it in the back of the net, easy as that. It was tough, man, to watch. I'm gonna be honest, I turned it off at halftime. 3-0. The one shining part of since Pedro was gone was Mason, in my opinion, and watching that happen to him, I turned it off. And then, if you got Apple and you got the phone, they put it on the phone, the score alerts. And at 3-1, I was like, I'm not watching it. At 3-2, I turned it back on. They scored immediately as soon as I turned it on. So 4-2. But I can't remember the last time I just turned the game off, man. Orlando City. There's times where I'm doing something important, birthday party, whatever it may be. Maybe I can't watch, but I'm still watching on my phone when I can. But to voluntarily turn a game off because it's 3-0 on the road, I can't remember the last time that happened. Cleon, did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it all. It's just every game, bro. It's even besides the losing, which friggin' absolutely sucks. It's just not fun to watch, man. You know what I mean? Like it's just not fun to watch. It's like it's just so boring. You know what I mean? Our play style, everything about it, man. And then it seems like things only happen when, like I said, everything hits the fan and you just let everything go. And it's been, I swear I've said this for going on years at this point. To where even when we were winning, it's like it seems like a lot of times it's like our it's not an exciting brand of soccer to watch, man. You know what I mean? And it's like even with that whole first half, and then and I just don't understand. Like we're not before you could even understand. You be at least you can make the argument being like, okay, we're sacrificing the attack because we're so scared of staying solid. But we're not even defending. So, like, what's the point? Just let it fly, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not even defending anymore. Before, you could at least make the argument that we were sacrificing one to solidify the other. And right now, they're both trash.
Yep.
So it's like, I don't even, I don't know what else they're supposed to do, man. From any standpoint, the players, the coaches, it seems like the front office. It seems like nobody's got an answer for this, man. And it's like, I don't know, man. I feel like you got to start over. I mean, honestly, I feel like you just got to start it over, bro, and be like, hey, all right, reset. This ain't going. You know what I mean? It's not working, man. It's not working. And our team's so young, and it seems almost like we had an old vet team that tried to make one run last year, and now they've all fallen off a cliff. Except for they're all kids. You know what I mean? Everyone's 22, 23, 24. And everyone's regressed so hard, bro. Cesar, what the hell, bro? What the hell? You're talking about a 20, 21-year-old kid. And what is he now, 22, maybe 23? It's like he's falling off a cliff. Like he's terrible. It's not even the same guy. It's just, I don't know, man. Like Schlegel, you know, I'm always on Schlegel back, but I mean, he's always been this way. So, I mean, I can't really complain about him too much because, I mean, he is what he is. You know what I mean? He's always been. Even in his good, I'm doing the air quotes, even in his good, you know, you always get the bad way. So it's like, but the rest of the guys, bro, it's just like, they're just completely falling off a cliff. And even like Nico, I was like, when he became free, I had said, like, I was like, oh, we should go get him. I meant as a backup. He is, and to be fair, he is backing up, but I meant a backup like, no, go get a star 10, and he would be a good backup for that star 10. But then we got him, and everybody was in shock. Oh my God, we actually did get him. Then we were waiting for the star 10 to come. It's just never come. And I just don't understand. We had Morrow, but even when we had Morrow, we never even put nobody behind him the whole time. So I don't understand. Outside of Morrow, like, why are we so hesitant on filling that hole? The center backs, we've been stuck with Schlegel as that number 3 forever. You know, never tried to strengthen that at all. The defensive midfield, Lord have mercy, like we're like too deep. And we're not even that anymore. We're too deep coming in on paper. You know, you should be good with Wilder and Cesar, but we literally have nothing behind them. And right now, like we're having, especially after this game, we're having to pin all our hopes on a I don't even know what round draft pick we got. You know what I mean? It's like it all just seems so hopeless, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. So there's this talk, obviously, with the U.S. men's national team and Greg Berhalter, right? And last night, my eyes were, I could pinpoint. I feel like I found the reason as to why we suck. And it's very similar. You have a bunch of kids that individually should be great, but it's just not working. And Matt Turner said it best. I think, you know, he mentioned the ability to be comfortable with your coach, right? And Carly Lloyd said we had coaches that we hated and we won tournaments because of it. And the most successful teams, you don't get comfortable with your coach. The coach isn't your friend. And I feel like after last year, there was such a good bonding with the coach, especially with the run that we had. There's this comfortableness with Oscar Pereira, I think, that these kids have where, you know, it's like a tight circle with your coach. And I don't think that's the way it should be. You know, I think the coach needs to demand you to be uncomfortable. Some of the you know, obviously I've done my pilot training, and some of the times when I learn the most, when I perform the best, is when I am the most uncomfortable. When I perform the worst is when I am the most comfortable. And that's everything they teach you. And you know, and what I'm learning to do right now. And I feel like a lot of these players are comfortable, and they're comfortable in the situation. I'm not saying they're comfortable with losing, but I'm saying they're comfortable at training. They're comfortable when they go down a goal. They just think it's going to happen. You know, there's no urgency to do something different. And I think in the end of the day, I think both coaches need to be fired for the U.S. men's national team and for Orlando City. I am full on the Poppy out because of this, especially more now after the U.S. men's national team, after it all clicked for me last night. This comfortableness is, you need coaches that are going to demand greatness and demand you to be uncomfortable and learn how to deal with it. And that's what makes teams great. And you see that across all the different sports. So, Mike, your opinion on the.
Let me talk real quick. I think you're right with the uncomfortable part, but I'll take that step further. I don't know if it's necessarily the players that are too comfortable, man. I think it might be a matter of the front office is too comfortable with Bobby. You know what I mean? They're too comfortable with Bobby. The same way how a lot of fans, they don't want to make a change because we're comfortable with him. You know what I mean? Because we've had worse.
Even the Wilfs are comfortable,
and
right?
Well, I don't know if the Wilfs are comfortable or not. Like they don't.
I mean, if they run it like the Vikings, we know what their comfortable meter is with the Vikings.
I'll say this:
10-6 is good and get in the playoffs. Lose, that's it. That's comfortable.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like I feel like they hired. I feel like they might be comfortable, but their comfort maybe the comfort is in the front office too much. Maybe the front office's comfort is they got too much in the coach. You know what I mean? We worked well. They worked well together. And I understand, like, even if you're taking the outside of like sports and you know what I mean? Sometimes people stay together, even if you're talking about relationships, because it's just comfortable. You understand, and it's easy. You know what I mean? And be like, yeah, they do X, Y, and Z, and I'm not happy. I would like it. I would like it to be better, but it could also be worse. I've had worse, so I'll just stay where I'm at. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that comfort and everyone being so scared for it to be worse, which is kind of crazy because, like we said at the beginning, you can't really get too much worse than you are right now. Like what's the fallout? You try something and you go from 14 to 15.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like, well, what are we scared of right now? We're at the bottom. What are you scared of?
We're at 11th right now, but yeah, we're close to the bottom.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, but what's the amount of points that are separating us between
exactly
first and last?
Exactly.
The answer is 3. We're 1 loss away from being in last place, Yeah. So, but honestly, just to add on to that, first off, I want to say the fact that I was after that game, I was sitting here being like, I agree with Carly Lloyd and Alexi Lawless right now. Like that takes a lot for me to be.
Yeah, I've never heard you say that.
Those kind of shoes. Like I was agreeing with both of them on their stance on Berhalter and that, and kind of going off of the complacency and comfort feeling. Like I've said this a lot more on Den After Dark than I think I have on the actual show. But for me, if they do decide that they want to move on from Poppy, they're going to move on from Louis Smoothie as well. Like I think that it's going to be both of them that are gone. Maybe Ricardo ends up getting promoted to taking that role that Moosey's in currently, where he's going to be the head of the show. I think it would be wise to possibly try and do that. He is still a great soccer mind that's well regarded around the league. But I think both of them are going to end up going because for me, the biggest thing with the roster build, especially over the past 2 years, that we all feel like think a lot of the moves that they have made have been reactionary moves. But they're reactionary moves where the action doesn't happen. We brought in Ojeda because we thought we were going to lose Facu because they play the same position. Facu ended up staying. We brought in Muriel because of the fact that Duncan was going to end up leaving. Duncan ends up staying. Like we brought in Ladero to be a like-for-like replacement for Mauricio, but he was going to offer more goal scoring. I mean, he really has not fit in as being a like-for-like replacement because, yeah, Nico runs like Mauricio, that's for sure, but he's, as far as like his ability to contribute, it's so sporadic. He's not consistent. Like the fact that the most consistent player on our team, in my opinion, throughout this entire season has been our right back. It's not great. Like I feel like Dagger Dancer Olsen's been probably the best player that our team has really had this season outside of Duncan McGuire. Just because Duncan is on 7 goals this year, and that deserves praise as well. But like DDT's been consistent all year. Like, but I don't know. This team's it's gotten rough to watch, as you guys already highlighted. We talked last week about the fact that like Summer Afaku may be here. Like maybe this could be a turn in the corner, or are we going to have to pump the brakes right now? Alex said it. The brakes, some foot never came off the brakes. We were still firmly on the brakes. This performance was a step backwards from what we saw last week. And then we also ended up having injury added to insult on top of that with Mason, which sucks. So, it's just one of those things. Like, I don't know where the team goes. I mean, Nani's practicing with them. So I know that there's already a bunch of people on Twitter saying, let's go ahead and sign Nani back. And that's not the answer. I'll tell you guys that right now. He might improve the vibes around the camp a little bit, but Nani ain't making this team better right now. It's just a fact,
No. Yeah, I mean, I don't see many things making this team better other than a landmark hire at the coaching position, getting rid of Muzi and seeing what happens. But yeah, I like what you said, Cleon.
Look,
I mean, the front office is comfortable. The players are comfortable. Oscar just re-signed. I honestly, Oscar might be the most uncomfortable out of all of them. I'd be pissed if I'm him.
Should be.
But it is what it is. It's the mindset. It's the culture of the team. And last year we had something to prove. This year it doesn't even feel like, feels like the players have given up on that. There ain't nothing to prove anymore, other than what they wanted to prove is out of reach.
Yeah, and like if you want to go ahead and look at comparisons across the league, I mean, I think the biggest stark comparison right now is St. Louis City. St. Louis City overperformed mightily last year. You could say that we overperformed a good amount as well. They're struggling this year in the fact that they're in a similar boat to us. I think they actually have less wins than us currently, but they just fired their head coach. And that might be something that's kind of a harsh decision given their payroll and their investment and their backing of him, because you could argue they really haven't done much this year to try and make the team better. But they're still making a change at coach in their second season after they finished first last year in the West. Like difficult decisions have to be made at some point. And if that's why I'm kind of saying the comfort factor with the front office, and I named Muzi in particular, if he's not going to make a decision to move on from Poppy, he is also likely going to lose his job in the winter.
You know what? And really, if you look at it deeper than that, it's like it's this was Muzi's first big job at this type of thing, right?
No, I think he had a high up role in Dallas, I believe.
I mean, in this type of position.
I'm not sure. I'm going to look it up.
Where he's the actual decision maker. Oh, well, I mean, if you look at it, even then, and while it's worked, I would say it's worked. From where we were to where we were trying to be. I would say it's worked up until now, and if you're trying to say take us out of the gutter, then yes, it's worked, right? It's just now the objective has changed. Now it's no longer, we just don't want to be the worst team. We just want to be able to make playoffs. Mind you, those are in jeopardy right now. those are in jeopardy right now. But ignoring that part of it, you could say, yeah, it's been a success for what they were hired to do. But you get to a point to where it's okay, this is no longer enough. And for everyone if you look at even when he got the position, what did he went straight back to the person he was already comfortable with that he worked with before. You know what I mean? From FC Dallas. So it's like some of it is okay, he could be scared himself. Okay, well, if I do get rid of Oscar and bring in somebody I don't really have a relationship with, how do I know we're even going to get along? How do we know we're going to be able to work together? How do we, you know what I mean? And is that fear is the same thing as what I was saying, like the same reason why you stay in a relationship that's not necessarily bad or they've done you wrong, but it's just stalled. You know what I mean? And the same reason why sometimes you stay in that relationship that's stalled because you've been in relationships that are worse, and you're like, oh, it could be worse than this, so I'll just stay in this unfulfilled state forever. You know what I mean? But even and all of us, we get attached and we get comfortable, and it was. I mean, yeah, people's views have changed now because Pedro's been so bad, but you know, if let's say coming out of last season, we were just like, screw it, just let Pedro go, and we just get a brand new goalkeeper. People's like, no, we can't do that because Pedro's been the best goalkeeper we've ever had. You know what I mean? Janssen, it'll be the same thing with him. Faku, be like, no, he's been our best DP signing we've ever had. And at the end of the day, and I even have to tell myself this a lot of times, it's like at the end of the day, when you look at every MLS champion, which is what we're striving to be, right? That's what we want. Not a single one had Pedro Gillespie. I'm not saying it's their fault, but Pedro wasn't their goalkeeper. They won the cup. They didn't have Faku on their team. They won the cup. They didn't have Oscar coaching. They won the cup. You know what I mean? None of these guys we have in our team, or even in the front office for that matter, are, oh, there's no way we can get rid of this person because they're irreplaceable. Or you can't win a cup without this person. Every cup that's ever been won in MLS has been won without these guys. You know what I mean? Yeah, Nico's won one or whatever, but I mean, he ain't leading us to one right now. You know what I mean? So you sometimes you just can't be scared to know when it's time to move on. You know what I mean? Or strive for better. Yep. You just can't be stuck in neutral forever, bro. Like we're stuck in neutral.
Neutral is like, you know, you're rarely ever in neutral. And I think I'll end it with by saying,
well, we're in neutral, but we're like parked on a hill. So we're kind of rolling backwards while we're in neutral.
And that's the thing. It's a lot harder to climb than it is to fall. You know, like you're saying, Cleon, it is a net positive since Muzi's came in, since Oscars came in. They brought us out of what we thought we were.
Absolutely.
But a rest of a season like this, is it still a net positive? You know, it's super easy to fall. You go into the season being considered Supporter Shield favorites. And right now I just looked at the odds. We're 150-1, the third worst odds in the league to win the MLS Cup. You know, it's a lot easier. 151, that's what we were in 2018, I'm sure. 2017. You know, it's super easy to just lose everything that they've gained. And that's where I don't get it from Muzi. I don't get it. You know, I understand you like Oscar, but dude, you've changed a lot of this culture around here. But a season like this, if it goes like this for the last 14 games of the year, you're closer to where you were before you came than not, in my opinion.
Yeah. And well, the thing is not even, it goes beyond even this season, because it's like, for me personally, even if we were still like we had been for the majority of the time since we, you know, rose from the gutter to being a playoff contender or a playoff team consistently, we're normally always fifth seed, sixth seed, seventh seed, right? Even if we weren't at the bottom like we are now, and we were still in that fifth seed, sixth seed, seventh seed, and that's the way that season ends, we make the playoffs, we're out first round, boom. We would still, I feel like we would still need to, it would still be time to make that change. You know what I mean? Even if we weren't like at rock bottom, like we've been doing all season. Even if it was just the same old, like at some point, unless you're comfortable just being mid because you're scared to be the worst, then like then whatever. If that's what your mentality is, that's what it is. But if you're trying to get to the top, which I would assume that's what everybody here wants, is to get to the top, it comes a point to where, okay, maybe this group's taking us as far as they could take us. You know what I mean? Think about the Bucks, bro. When they had to come out the gutter, they had Tony Dungy. He took them out the gutter. But when they tried to when it was time to, okay, we're at this plateau, we need to get over the top. They even got rid of Dungy, and Dungy, I would say that's the best coach they ever had.
And then the next year, literally the next year,
yes,
they won the Super Bowl with John Gruden.
Yeah. It's just.
But I thought that doesn't happen.
It happens all the time. Happens a lot.
All right.
People act like it doesn't.
I know, and honestly, I feel like it happens more in soccer than a lot of other sports. To be honest with you, you look at teams that I mean, how many times has a team been in the relegation zone in the Premier League? They fire their coach, bring in a new coach, and then they're out of the zone. Then they stay up.
Yeah.
You know, that happens all the time. It's and right now we're 3 points out. You know, if this was a relegation zone, we're 3 points out. You fire a new coach. It's not, especially with the next 10 games that we were talking about.
Mind you, that's with that friggin' dumb everybody's getting in thing that they started last year. You know what I mean? So it's like,
but it's a 3 point difference. That's what we need. You know, it's not crazy to think that a new coach couldn't have. You know, they talk about wins over replacement. Couldn't have one win over Oscar Pereira right now. Wins over replacement. A new coach. And that's what we are. We're 3 points away. We need one win above replacement when it comes to the manager to be, you know, not satisfied, but to at least be above the line to give ourselves a chance, you know. And we've seen what the players can do. We know there's a chance. And if a new coach were to come in and get them rolling, that's the glorious thing about MLS, right? You could be the 7th seed. You could be the 8th seed, the 6th seed, and barely make it in.
Columbus last year.
You know, that's the glorious thing about Major League Soccer. And to sit back and be content with it and say, we're just going to see out the rest of the season, whatever. That's not good enough, especially we know what the players have done in the past. You know, there's a lot of people comfortable right now. And just, I want everybody who is maybe a little bit comfortable to think about the times in their life when they've learned the most valuable lessons, when they've improved the best, and tell me how comfortable you were.
Literally everyone top to bottom got paid this all season, and it's like,
you know, you're Cleon and the fam, right? You guys got how many Mr. Chickens you got?
5.
5, right?
Yeah.
So you just had one. You're like, hey, we're making good money here. You know, this is doing pretty good. Should we open up another one? I don't know. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to open up another one. There's going to be a lot of different things that go on, a lot of variables. If it fails, it might take out the first one too. Everything we work for could be gone. Maybe we'll just be comfortable and keep number one, keep the first one. That's all we need, right? Anything in life, you have to force yourself to be uncomfortable, to be great. That's what life is.
Hey, man, I forced all you guys to have to do video this year. I think I made a couple of you uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, now look at JJ. He's got a whole setup going on.
He's got a soundboard, man. That was the biggest mistake we made.
Yeah. All right. Let's
give that man sound effects.
Let's get up to the stock up and stock down. Mike, you want to start us off?
Yeah. So stock down. I'm going to take the easy one off the board here. Actually, no, I'm not going to take the easy one off the board. I'm going to take the second easy one off the board. Angulo, man, got an opportunity in on goal in like the first minute, right at the keeper. Then, man, I don't know what it is. Him and Poppy, whatever kind of relationship that they have between each other, but he won't take him off the damn field. Like Angulo at this point has been detrimental to the team's performance. He was cause for the second goal. In my opinion, could have completely avoided that happening if he either strong-armed it better or just put the ball out of bounds. Maybe that would have changed his game too. You never know. But Angulo has been just absent since we used the purchase option to bring him in this year. And then my stock up, I'm going to give it to my boy, Giorgio Kuchevsky, rookie. Just want to give him a shout out. Team seemed like it was more settled when he came in for Nico Ladero. Would have been easy to just go ahead and stock down Nico, stock up the guy that came in for him as a sub. But I figured one of you guys was going to say something about Nico anyways. So but shout out to Kuchevsky. I think that his passing was excellent. He helped set up the first goal with just being patient on the ball and distributing the ball out, which ended up, getting to Ojeda, who put in the cross for Thorhalsen. So I think Kuchevsky deserves some praise. And I would not be shocked in the slightest to see Kuchevsky get a start in one of these next two games. I think he probably has earned it. So,
all right. I like that stock up. My stock down is minimum stock down alert. I will not be choosing these guys as stock down anymore until I choose them as one stock up, because from here on out, they are at the bottom of the stock. They are on the floor.
They got no stock.
Angulo, Rafael Santos, Nico Ladero, Cesar Araujo, all at the minimum stock list. Been horrible. They've been terrible. That's it. Miserable. Hard to watch. Those four guys are the focal point of our miserableness this season. Those four dudes. And it's not just this match. It's been pretty much every match. They've all been horrible. So minimum stock alert on those guys. I like the Kuchevsky shout out. I'm going to go with Dagger Dan again because he's been one of the only bright spots. And Ojeda got to start, gets an assist. Who would have thought? Cleon?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go stock down Cesar. He's been terrible all year, man. He's been terrible all year. And it's just, I don't understand it. He's too young to be regressing like that. But like I said, I swear everyone that's got paid this offseason fell off. Like from front office all the way down, bro. Like everyone got paid this offseason. Everyone got fat. Everybody got happy and lax, bro. And it's like, should we be surprised that? Oh, I'm sorry, everyone got paid except for Duncan. but should we even be surprised that it takes a rookie coming off, and it's not because it's a young guy, but it's somebody that's actually hungry. You know what I mean? He's hungry for playing time. He's hungry to get his career going, and it takes that type of thing for anybody to show any type of life, bro. The rest of these dudes is just like, it's like they made it.
Hold on. Is this a play the kids argument from Cleon?
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because the kids are still trash, bro. The kids are still trash. But it's just a matter of but you could be disappointed to where if you're playing so lazy, it doesn't matter how talented you are. Some scrub cannot perform you if they're hungry, if they're gonna work hard enough. You know what I mean? If both of them is gonna play hungry, no, the kid's gonna look like a kid because that's what they are. But I mean, all these dudes, bro, like everyone got paid, bro. Everyone got paid, and everyone's drive is gone, bro. These don't even look like the same players. They don't, bro. They don't look like the same players. Everyone got paid. Who didn't get paid? Muzi got paid. Rico got paid. Oscar got paid. The whole coaching staff got paid. Everyone in their friggin' we paid almost every person in our starting 11 just got paid except for Duncan, right? Muriel brought him over. He should be hungry. He should be coming over hungry to restart his career or revive his career. Like how Nani was, to prove he's still the man. But no, we paid him freaking $4 million a year, bro. You know what I mean? He's like, prove myself for what? I'm straight. You know what I mean? Angulo got paid. Cesar got paid. Everyone of you looking at who's got it down, Pedro got paid. Everyone you looking at that's having a down year is just falling off a cliff. They all got paid this all season. And it's like that drive is gone, bro. And you see it in games. They don't care. They just don't have it. They don't have it, bro. Everyone that had that dog last year, it's like, and they were out to prove something. Maybe they was out to prove that I should be getting paid this offseason. You know what I mean? Pedro was going back and forth the whole season. He wanted to get paid, and they made him wait. Everyone else was. And you know, it's just not happening. Even on the dudes that didn't get paid, like Duncan, bro. Like, you know, he's getting. Yeah, he was out. He had to prove that he was fighting to take that dude's job. Then he took it. You know what I mean? Then it was okay. Well, now I want to get paid, or now I want to go to Europe. Then that's not happening. To his credit, he's still playing decent, but I mean, you know, are we seeing he's missing some of those, you know, some of those Duncan type plays. You know what I mean? That we saw last year. Everyone's just out there, man. They're just out there collecting a check at this point. And it's like, even how we just said how Nani wouldn't help on the pitch. Well, skill wise, no, he wouldn't. But one thing that dude did have, no matter what, whether he's getting paid or getting not or whatever, was that dude had that fire. You know what I mean? And he's always out with a chip like he is still some young kid trying to prove he was trying to take somebody's spot, even though he was not. And while I agree, I don't think he can help us on the pitch at this point because he's too far gone past it. But we need to figure out how to get that type of personality and that type of attitude back into our team. I'm not saying it's got to be Nani, but we need that type of energy and that type of fire and that type of personality back in our locker room because it is gone. It is gone. Cesar don't have it, and that dude had it in spades. It don't even look like the same guy now. And it's thus. Like he went from looking like friggin' prime attitude-wise, looking like prime Higuita, Saren, Pit Bulls, to looking like Sasha Kleshin on D. Like, what's going on? What's going on?
Dagger Dan didn't get paid.
And he's still fighting.
One of our best players.
I'm telling you, everyone who's going down, they got paid.
Yeah. Muriel is just, I mean, we all would, like you said, everybody's collecting a paycheck. Muriel, like even Nico is there. I think that's why we missed Mauricio too, because Mauricio had that kind of a little bit, you know, that he was out there to prove something. He was at least a leader on the pitch. Robin Janssen, everybody's walking. They got their designer man purses now. Their Balenciaga jeans. Everybody can afford to drive the nice car to the stadium so they could park it up, play 90 minutes, lose, and go home. Doesn't affect them. Paycheck's the same. So I'm with you. I get you on that. Did you want to do a stock up, or that was just everybody down?
No, they're all down. Everyone's down.
Yeah, hard not to agree with you there.
Even the Wills pocketbook, even their checkbooks down, bro. They had to pay everybody this season for nothing. So even their bank accounts down.
All right, we were talking about Duncan McGuire. Some contract news came out with him. He has declined the Orlando City pay raise extension that Orlando City had offered him. Orlando City still believe they have the rights to him until 2026. Of course, that famous Kyle Larin team option where FIFA doesn't really recognize it, but it's an American sports thing, so MLS recognizes it. Feels like it could get a little bit dirty when it comes to that in the off season, but I'm gonna guess we're gonna make an attempt to sell him in the summer. So, but yeah, they're saying he's not for sale. They're saying he's with the team through 2026, so he's not for sale. I don't know if it's hardball. I don't know. It just feels like you're adding dirt to a messy situation, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go ahead and jump in, and just because you referenced the Kyle Larin situation, I do just want to say that the league and FIFA got involved on that, and we did get a transfer fee for it because they did determine that his contract was valid. So that likely sets precedent that he can't just go ahead and up and leave when those options are there.
But it was minuscule in what we should have gotten. It was a precedent to set that you can get away for 25% transfer fee of what it should
Yeah,
be.
so we'll see how it goes in the future, but yeah, at least there is something that does cover our backsides a little bit. But realistically, when they're saying he's not for sale, I think that's just posturing for the most part. Realistically, they just got announced that like Ricardo Pepi is not getting released by PSV to go to the Olympics. Duncan is probably going to be in the Olympics. Duncan is probably going to play minutes in the Olympics. I think realistically, after the Olympics, he's gone. That's just my 2 cents. Clubs in Italy have shown interest. We've heard from, I think, Torino. I think there's been clubs in the Netherlands and Belgium that have been interested. There's clubs in England that have been interested. Like there's a good amount of people that are paying attention to him, and I feel like the Olympics is likely only going to intensify that. So for me, he's just get ready for life without him. He's going to be gone. The real big question after that is, do we do anything with the money we get from him to reinvest in that position, or do we not? Which I feel like they're probably not going to make any kind of significant investments during this window, especially if they think that this is a lame duck season at this point. I don't think that they'll end up making any investments if they don't make a coaching change. So,
yeah,
that's just
you
my
think
2
he's
cents.
gone, Cleon?
Yeah, I'll say the only thing as far as going back to the Duncan contract news, whatever. I don't know. For me, is you can't say, and I also agree with Mike. I think that's just posturing. I don't think they're with that. Because if he really wasn't for sale, you would pay him like he wasn't for sale. You know what I mean? You would just give him that contract. I would love to know what, even in the ballpark, of what those numbers were. You know what I mean? But I feel like honestly, I feel like he probably still got lowballed. Not lowball like the first time, but still not, still not paying him like he's one of the best 3 players on the team, which he has been since the day he got here.
To be fair, who the hell would want to lock into this situation right now?
I wouldn't, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
At worst,
so the way I see it, at worst, it would be, okay, yeah, I'm trying to get out of here, but I'm at least going to get paid while I'm here. You know what I mean? Because it's not like if he signs a contract, then, he still can't be sold. He could. So, I mean, especially if he's under contract technically until 26. You know what I mean? You're going to, who's going to turn down a raise? Who's going to turn down a significant raise? And when I say significant, I mean in comparison to, what your pay rate should be according to your production. You're not going to just turn that down on the hope that you get a move. You know what I mean? You will sit there and get paid for your time while you're here. You know what I mean? Instead of being paid less than everyone except for, I don't even know who it is. I think it's the Otero, maybe like 3-4 other guys, maybe. But
it's low.
That's
what I was thinking. I don't know why I didn't accept it, but we don't know the back end of it. And
you don't know what his number is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess we're going to talk about the MLS All-Star selection.
Yeah, I kind of just threw that in the rundown today because obviously we got the MLS All-Star announcement. We know the players that are going, the players that were either voted in or Wilfred Nance picked to be a part of the team or Don Garber picked to be a part of the team. And this is now a 3rd year in a row that Orlando City has nobody. And I know last year we were all kind of like cool with it. Like, hey, team's doing good right now. I don't want anybody going there for a meaningless game to get hurt. But at the same time, 3 years in a row, it's kind of embarrassing that we don't have any player that the league will view as good enough to be in this kind of game.
Not that. We were nowhere close, man. I was just thinking about it. Everybody wants the East versus West MLS All-Star team. We could have gone East versus West. We maybe would have had one dude in there.
If they did it that way, I think if they did East versus West, there'd probably be a requirement that every team gets at least one All-Star. But
that would be the only reason we get one in.
yeah,
the NBA don't do that, but that would be the only reason we would get one in, and it would be Dagger Dan, because strikers deep in the East, and that's it. But honestly, maybe get one dude in. If it's East versus West, forget the whole league. If it was East versus West, we maybe get one dude in. That's how crappy we've been all year. So, yeah, I hate that. I'm not a big fan of the game. I think it's pointless. I don't even really watch it. It's stupid. But if it was East versus West, it'd be more fun at the end of the year. But I don't even think we'd get a dude in.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of them just going to East versus West at this point. We have too many teams, too many players. Like, get more people involved if you want to try and do that. But, like, if we're playing Liga MX All-Stars or playing just some super team from Europe that is going to embarrass us like has happened in the past, it's just stupid. Like, it's just a dumb exhibition.
Very dumb. Yeah, it barely ever does any good for the league. All right, let's talk about Toronto. Tomorrow night, or tonight, by the time you listen to this, in Toronto. Obviously ahead of us in the table, not hard to do.
Loss.
We're still. I think Pedro will be back. They said he's back.
Him and Wilder both are back at practice. Yeah, Bracalo probably will not be back in time for this game, is my assumption at least. So.
Yeah. I'm with Cleon.
I
think it's a loss.
The game against Toronto previously was a game that we had won. If I remember correctly, I believe we were up 1-0, and it was late. And then I think it was like 2 goals after the 80th minute that we conceded to turn it into a 2-1 loss at home.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and give it a 1-1 draw because we're on the road, and I'm just we need to have one person who's slightly optimistic on the show, and Ryder's not here. So, love you, Ryder. But you're much more optimistic than the rest of us. So, I'll go 1-1 draw. Give me a goal from Duncan, get in Olympic shape, so that way we could get a bigger transfer fee for him because he's gone.
Listen, I am not giving up on the season. I still think we'll somehow make the everybody in play in, whatever.
I mean, because it's harder not to make it.
We were talking about the next 10 games on the last episode, and we just got through the hardest one. The next 9 games are easier than pretty much anything we've done so far this season. That said, get a new manager in. Take advantage of these 9 games, 8 games, 7 games, whatever it may be. Please. Because going with the same thing that we've been doing for these next 9, it is not hard, these next 9 matches.
Yeah.
It ain't. It's pretty cake, honestly. You're looking at 9 matches where we could get 20 points, 18 points. We could double what we did all year in these next 9 matches. It's not difficult. This at Toronto is one of the toughest ones that we got. Maybe the toughest, other than like New York City at home. Maybe the toughest match in the next 9 matches. Obviously got the Leagues Cup in between there, but we got to do something. I hope we can get a result. And I'm not giving up on the season yet, but it is excruciatingly painful to watch. And I do think we will lose against Toronto based off of what we've seen so far this year. I'm gonna say we don't score goals. We have been. So actually, let's say 2-1 again. And Cleon just said L. You ain't even gonna put a score prediction, are you, Cleon? No. Yeah. That said, we turn it.
If you
we're gonna turn it. We're gonna start the turnaround on Saturday if it's ever gonna happen. DC at home. We're honoring Kaká. We did beat DC on the road. We came back and won 3-2 the last time we played. 2 goals after the 80th minute, similar to how we lost against Toronto in the first time. And I think we'll beat DC. I think it's going to be a game where hopefully Bracalo will be back, and Benteke will do something, but I think we'll win 3-2 again against DC. And that's just me kind of hoping and praying. But I mean, look at the matches, man. It's DC. It's who's after DC. It's
we can't always lose to DC though.
We beat them though this year on the road. You know, it's DC, and then we got New England, then Nashville, both on the road, but those are winnable games. New York City at home, Leagues Cup, Sporting KC, Nashville at home, New England at home, Charlotte at home. This is the stretch, man. You know, this is the stretch where you could solidify a playoff spot. Forget barely getting in. You can make sure you're getting in these next 9 games. But it's all going to be if people just show up to collect a paycheck or if people are actually feeling uncomfortable and want something else to prove. But I think we'll beat DC. Do you think we're going to lose, Cleon?
Yeah. Both.
And then Oscar's gone, right?
I don't think he's going.
No? Oh, God.
See, here's the thing: is if what you're saying is because you're also predicting a loss there, so that would put us with 1 win in our last 9 games, and that would include 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losses. 6 losses, 1. Still don't think so? Okay.
Yeah, no, I'll say this. I feel like the only way Oscar's getting fired is if the Wilfs fire him herself.
That's fair.
I can see that happening.
I think the Wilfs.
Muzi don't want that to happen.
This is what I think. I think the Wilfs are, I don't think they meddle, especially with this. That's not necessarily their game. They feel like they know more than, or as much as the guys they employ to know more than them. In this case, meaning Muzi and Ricardo, obviously. So I think they're just letting them be. I personally think Muzi will just go down with the ship. You know what I mean? I don't think he's gonna fire Oscar. I feel like he's just gonna go down with the ship. If Oscar goes down, he's gonna go down with it. I mean, mind you, no, I ain't gonna say that. I'll say it to y'all after the show, but I ain't gonna say it on the air. But let's just say, like, I know for sure they have offers to go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Somewhere else. They like, if they want to go, they can go right now. They got offers, so they'll still get paid. If they also go down the ship and get fired, they would still, we're still gonna have to pay them, and they'll have another job lined up right now. If they want. So I mean. Yeah. I think I don't think he's going to fire Oscar. I think if Oscar gets fired during the season, it's going to be because the Wilfs stepped in literally and just said, "Look, he's got to go, or you got to go, or both of y'all going right now." You know what I mean? I think it's going to take that to where they have to overrule. But I don't think Muzi's going to fire Oscar.
They might want to do it before. At least not in the regular season.
At least not in the regular season. If he did it all, it would be during the off season. But I don't even know if it'll come then. I personally think he'll go down with the ship.
I could see it. So it hasn't been any indication to see why not. They haven't even mentioned anything. It's just they didn't even get interviewed or nothing. So I could definitely see it.
Which is
we'll be honored to call though, at least.
Which is crazy when you think about it. The fact that there's been no even talk in the media of it. I know we don't have much of a soccer media here, but there's never even been question about, like, at least not publicly, a question put forth to them, like, is so and so's job safe? You know what I mean? Like, no matter how many losses we get, which is kind of crazy to me. But hey,
yeah,
that's why we don't have press passes, because JJ would ask that. Whew, during,
I mean, I'd love to hear somebody like maybe even like Mike or Maho go and ask, just be like, "Hey, do you feel like you're on the hot seat right now?" But not to name drop Mike or anything on purpose, because I know we all like Mike, but it's one of those things. Like, I'd love to just hear somebody from one of the media outlets ask him, do you feel like, because Paul Tenorio, who we all know used to be an Orlando beat writer, he straight up asked Greg Berhalter, do you think you're the right man for the job right now going into World Cup 2026? And Greg Berhalter gave the most unconvincing yes, and then nothing else as far as context after it in the post-game interview from the USA yesterday. So, like, I mean, they're asking questions. I'd love to hear if someone on our side would end up asking a question like that.
I would just love for someone to make someone answer a question. You know what I mean? A real question.
You think we're gonna win, Mike?
We're playing a bogey team at home. No, I don't. I gave you the slight optimism of a draw against Toronto, and I've been wrong a little bit with these lately, and that's fine. But we've been cheeks at home, man. We haven't been good. We aren't scoring goals, and DC always is a team that we've struggled with for years. I know we beat them earlier this year, but I'm going to go 2-1 DC beats us at home.
God.
Bro, I have nothing but visions of Benteke friggin' dunking on our friggin' center backs all game long. So he's getting at least a deuce. And I don't mean the stinky kind of deuce either. But he's getting a brace, bro.
That is a stinky kind of deuce, but
shout outs. Anybody want to start?
Oh, shout out?
Yeah, go ahead if you got one.
Yeah, I'll shout out my girl. I'll shout out my girl, Miss Parker. Good job in that street fight today. Love watching your work, girl. Love watching your work.
Yeah, that's Jada Parker of NXT. Cleon is in love.
Miss Parker.
Would love to come see you someday. I'm gonna go ahead and this is gonna be
I'll be down.
Rare shout out to EA Sports. Did their Dynasty deep dive today for the college football 25 game that's coming out. Man, I'm excited. Our fantasy football league is just going to be growing because now we're all going to have to get the college football game and do a Dynasty together because Manscaped League One is going to live on in more ways than one. But Dynasty mode looks super fun. I'm obviously going to play as UCF because got to represent the alma mater, but curious what school I want to build up into a national champion next. Part of me wants to do Coastal Carolina because their field looks funny, but I don't know. I know, Alex, you probably want to do a Florida State one anyways. So
I do them all. I like to, obviously I always do Florida State, but yeah, there's other teams that I might dive into. I was thinking the University of Ohio, maybe one.
Not to be confused with Ohio State University.
No, not the University of Ohio.
Hell no.
Yeah, Marshall obviously is up there too. So
yeah,
those were teams I used to play with back in the day.
I mentioned earlier I also was interested in doing Colorado State because I'm moving out there soon. So I'm like, okay, represent where I'm moving, but like I don't want to. I ain't gonna try and fire Coach Prime in a video game. Like I feel like that's just not gonna go well for me. So,
he's in Colorado, so if you're Colorado State, you're good.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm in Colorado, I can't pick Colorado. I don't want to fire Coach Prime and take over for him. I feel like that would just be some bad press. So I'll do Colorado State instead.
There you go. Yeah, my shout out is, shout out to like you said, Paul Tenorio. These guys asking the hard questions. I like to see the hard questions being asked to Greg Berhalter. Shout out to Weston McKennie for showing up a little overweight, and then Greg Berhalter playing him in every match. Shout out to the U.S. men's national team. Just being horrible. I'll tell you the difference. You had guys that wanted to play to be, and Matt Doyle said it best. Maybe that is my shout out. Said last night that both the teams with the most MLS players won. Interesting, right? I'm just going to say it, man. Just because guys play in Europe doesn't mean, just like Alexi Lala said, I never thought I would have heard him drop such a line. He was spitting last night. He said they may be better individual players, but they're not better U.S. men's national team players. I miss seeing the heat. I miss seeing the desire to be playing for the United States, to be an underdog, everybody against you. I miss seeing it, and you only see it from a few different guys. Tyler Adams, Christian Pulisic. That's about it nowadays.
Yeah, I think the way that I saw, I think it might have been Lawless who said it as well, but basically kind of said something along the lines of these guys, they almost feel like they're entitled to be a part of the national team at this point, rather than feeling like it's a privilege to be a part of it. And that's kind of the mentality. That's why I'm saying they need a manager that's not their friend.
Yeah.
Greg, everyone talks about how great of a relationship they have with Greg and how the players all like Greg. You kind of need someone who's going to kick your ass sometimes. Like, it's just what you need.
Back in 10 years ago, a guy felt entitled. He got left at home for the World Cup. Just saying. That's the difference between nowadays.
Pretty important name too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So hey, I think there needs to be more competition and a lot more uncomfortableness. A lot more guys thinking that they might get left at home. I don't care who you are. The talent pool is the deepest it's ever been, and you can get a guy that says, "I'll play for the badge and I'll play for the country," and he can take pretty much anybody's spot that I saw last night. So, anyways, that's it. U.S. Men's National Team, horrible. Can't believe we're hosting a World Cup in 2 years with this going into it, but we'll see how it goes. I'm done watching again until Greg Berhalter gets fired. I turned it on for this Copa America. I hadn't watched in 2 years, and it's the same stuff, different day, to put it nicely. So, anybody else got anything else to add?
I'd like to not have a sad podcast next week.
No, man, that was depressing, and it's. But I feel like it was very real. I feel like a lot of it was real. I think a lot of people can relate. I hope a lot of people who have been, wanting to see it to the end realize that it's not a bad thing to demand more and to expect more. And when those demands and expectations aren't being met, it's not a bad thing to make a change. Like Cleon said, not just in soccer, but in everything in life. If you're stagnant, if you want more, but it's not coming to more, go demand more from what you're doing, from whoever you're working with. That's just what life's all about. That's the way you keep going up. That's the way you keep advancing, is demanding more and demanding greatness. And right now, there's very few people for Orlando City that are doing it, unfortunately. So hopefully it changes. We got nine easier games coming up. Not easy games because we're terrible, but 9 games that last year's team in these next 9 matches probably would have taken 23 points, honestly, in my honest opinion. So see if we can get 17, 18 out of them. And it's all going to start tonight, as you'll be hearing this in Toronto. So and then Saturday we'll be with you. I'll be on the Den After Dark tomorrow. I'll be hosting tomorrow night after the match.
Let me shout out my barber because my beard looking tremendous tonight. I must say.
See, aren't you glad you pushed us a video?
I don't know if it's the camera or what, but it's looking tremendous. Goodness, good job.
It's you watching Miss Parker too.
That's a new barber. It was a new barber. I was off on the east side today. I'm never on the east side, so I had to find the barber real quick. So I knew we had a podcast.
So now maybe you're going back, huh?
Might have to. Looking tremendous. Good job.
All right, y'all. Well, we appreciate everybody for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow night or tonight on the Den After Dark. And then, of course, Saturday we'll be on the Den After Dark as well. 30 minutes after the home match. Tomorrow will start pretty much as soon as the game is done. Hope to see y'all there. Come and shout and talk with us. And obviously a little bit, R-rated at night. And hopefully we'll be talking about something good tomorrow and maybe the turn of things going into this stretch before and after Leagues Cup. But thanks so much for listening. We appreciate y'all. As always, Vamos Orlando. We'll see y'all tonight.
Shout out all y'all 6 handicaps out there.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Orlando Lions Den podcast. Don't forget to follow us at Orlando Lions Den on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. See you next week in the Den.